Hey, you!
Ah!
Furless, puny adventurer, are you? You might need some top 15 barbarian magic items
Yeah!
to win at D&D.
What's that?
Hello, fellow adventurers. My name is Grognor, the Ancient Barbarian, and I'm here with my other barbarian friend,
Duncan! Gerg!
Nice, Duncan Gerg. And we're gonna seriously tell you about the best barbarian magic items and tier rank them for you, so you can, if you find them in your campaign, you can see whether they're good or bad, worth trying to fight for, worth trying to get for, worth trying to rage for. All right, so let's begin. Number one on the list is gonna be the Amulet of Health.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so this makes your Constitution score a 19 no matter what it is. So I would say that for barbarians, we need high Constitution for the saves, for the hit points, and so on. What do you think about this item? I think it's pretty average, though.
I put it at a B, to be honest. It's good for a low-level campaign, but it tops you off at 19. So
yeah.
you can't go above 19, and you're going to want your con score to be either con or strength. So you're going to want that to be 20 or above, and there are some items that you can get above. So
Right.
I give it a B.
So B, I give it like a C plus. I mean, for what it does, it's good. Any stat raises
Low
are
level.
fantastic.
Woo!
Yeah, somewhere between, I'd say maybe a C plus, B minus maybe for you.
That's what I said.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right, let's move on then from the Amulet of Health. We go to our next item, which is the Amulet of the Drunkard. Okay, so this is really interesting. I think it could be pretty thematic for barbarians.
Oh, yeah,
So when you are wearing it, you regain 44 plus 4 hit points.
No. This amulet smells of ye old ale-stained wood.
So when you're at the tavern, you're barbarian, you're drinking it up with your buddies because your constitution is high, and you can do that. You drink the pint of beer, ale, wine, whatever it is. You get back up to 20 hit points once per day. So it's great. I mean, you want to keep your HP up as a barbarian, and you have a lot of hit dice to do so. So this is a good way. You don't have to have healing potions. It works all the time. If you get it, I think it's pretty cool for an uncommon magic item.
Fun for flavor.
Yeah, for flavor, same thing. I wouldn't give it really past the C necessarily.
Yeah, I would agree.
If you're like even if you were like a long running campaign, like a dungeon crawling, it's still only one a day, so it's limited. So, but you don't have to.
Fun low level.
It
magic
is,
item.
yeah. I would want to give it maybe like a C instead of a C plus in this case, maybe even a C minus.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Okay. Amulet of the Drunkard. Moving on into our pack here, barbarian backpack, which is all covered in furs. We got boots with the fur. We have the animated shield. Okay, this is a really interesting one because as a barbarian, right? But a shield is good. You can use a shield and still use unarmored defense, right?
Yes.
However, you can't use your big war maul or great axe, right? Yes. And also use a shield because you want to be tanky as a barbarian. You want to be up front and be tanky and absorbing those hits and raging. All right, like Goku.
Yes.
So if you have this animated shield, you can have that 2 AC without needing to, have your cleric cast Shield of Faith on you, and have that extra AC bonus
because the shield leaps into the air and hovers in your space to protect you as if you were wielding it.
So you have your mighty two-handed weapon going all out, getting those brutal criticals, and still having the +2 or more AC for a magical shield, for example.
That's pretty cool.
This is great for a barbarian whose main focus is being up front and getting more damage. So,
actually, yeah.
Yeah, and the flavor is really cool too because it could be just a shield with the furs.
Shield with the furs. Levitating shield with the furs.
Okay, so still though, I mean, it's still limited, I think, in kind of general scope because it's just kind of AC. Yeah.
I mean, unless you can always. I mean, you could give it. You could give it a
magical shield.
Yeah,
for sure.
A +3 or something.
I'd be hesitant to give this maybe like a B minus because it's a very rare item, so it has power. And
B
it's
minus.
I mean, it lets you use
C
a two-handed
plus.
weapon. So okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I mean, B plus.
Okay. Moving on, we're gonna get out our Belt of Dwarvenkind. So this is interesting because, of course,
Busted.
You increase your Constitution score. Just doesn't matter what it is, right? You get +2 up to maximum of 20. You have advantage on charisma checks made to interact with dwarves. So depending on your campaign, that could be good, but otherwise niche.
And they use this in Critical Role Season 2. Grog gets this.
Okay, so it's really anything that gives you like permanent stat boost is already a great item, I think. And you get the full beard. You get a lot of like cool flavor effects with this as well. You have advantage against poison, resistance against poison, dark vision, and you have all this dwarvish sort of elements to it. So I mean,
this is like the the better version of the first one that we did.
Oh, interesting. It's like
It does more things.
Yeah, so I'll give it probably like a straight. I would give it like a B or maybe a B plus. Yeah, a straight B. It's a great one. Increase your con score, more hit points, more badass, more tanking. So okay,
we like it.
All right,
we like.
We
that.
do like that.
All
Next,
over the place with my voice today.
Speaking of belts, we have belt of giant strength, right? There's all kinds: hill giant, frost giant, fire giant, etc. These all change your scores up to 21 plus, up to almost 30, I think.
This is what I was talking.
So this is amazing, right?
Yeah.
This of itself, this is the premier item you want for your barbarian or even fighter. A lot of frontline damage deals. This is increase your
now it only does
damage
that,
or to hit.
It only does that though. It only increases your strength score.
Yeah, but doesn't give you a beard.
It doesn't give you.
So that's a big nut. That's a whole rank down. No, but this is fabulous, especially even if you get a belt of hill giant strength, all the way up to like frost or fire or cloud or whatever. You get one of those, and you're looking like I would just put a belt of giant strength in general, probably like an A tier.
I think
for
you should just
barbarian.
wear belts like across your chest and like.
That would be awesome.
Multi-belt.
And if you're a barbarian, you want that big like champion's belt, effect anyway. Anyway, I'd give this an A. What do you think?
B plus A.
For all of the belts or?
What does fire do again?
Up to 23, 25, 27, 29, I think.
Oh, yeah, no, that's an A tier.
Yeah, so, okay. We agree. It's a good one for Barbarian. So next is going to be Berserker Axe. I see this recommended a lot. It's a magical weapon, right? You have +1 hit. It's thematic, right? You have your axe as a Barbarian, right? Who doesn't love that? You get +1 to hit, etc. And you get an extra hit point per level you have. So if you're level 20, for example, you'd have an extra 20 hit points by wielding this axe. However, the axe is cursed, right? So
Which I always would say is better, because whenever you can add a curse or something flavorful like that into your campaign, I think you're going to be able to have a lot. Like having a cursed weapon is just inherently is going to add more dynamics to your campaign. I mean, literally going back to Vox Machina season 2, a cursed weapon is a main plot point.
Oh, good point. Yeah, so this could be a good way to get your barbarian really invested in their character and role play, or tied it to their story somehow. Because once you have this on, you can't not use it, and B, you have to do a wisdom saving throw. Otherwise, you go berserk, literally berserk. I mean, that's a barbarian is kind of meat and potatoes, right? Going berserk, and you make attacks against whoever's next to you. That could be like your allies. So. I mean, overall, the flavor is the flavor is great. It's not very powerful necessarily. And it has a lot of potential downsides.
It has that kind of. It's kind of like the sorcerer wild magic stuff. It's like it has some upsides, but also like you could cast fireball on your. Yeah.
I'd still give this like maybe a D plus, C minus.
It doesn't do much for me.
Yeah, exactly. Other than flavor. So, sound good?
What do you think? Let us know in the comments down below.
Oh yeah, what do you think of Berserker Axe? Have you used it or any of the other magic items here? Let us know in the comments.
Absolutely.
And if you find any other barbarian magic items that you want to share,
please let us know.
Throw them down. It's gonna be awesome for the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, Blood Fury tattoo. Okay, this is really interesting. What happens here is a tattoo. I think these came out in Tasha's, right?
Yes,
and
this,
first of all, awesome flavor for barbarian. You want to be have cool tattoos.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just to.
If you're, I mean, I know some DMs are going to allow them, some are not, but I think the tattoos are really, really, really cool.
Yeah, some are very a little like hinging on overpowered. Yeah. So when you have this, you get 10 charges for bloodthirsty strike. So when you hit a creature, you spend one of these charges to deal an extra 4d6 necrotic damage. That's not nothing. That's a lot of damage. And you regain the number of hit points you dealt. Back. Yeah.
I mean, this is A plus S tier for me.
Yeah, because if you think about it, what do you need as barbarian? You need hit points, you need damage. That's what you're doing, right? That's kind of your role. You want to absorb the hit points, and if you have a way to get them back, I mean, that's just fantastic. So yeah, I'd say this borders on, and I think it's either very rare, it's actually legendary. So that makes sense given the power threshold here.
This is S tier.
I would definitely venture towards S.
For a barbarian, this is S tier.
I mean, the amount of damage, 46, it's insane. Plus hit points every single time you hit, 10 charges a day. I get an S tier, A plus, maybe at the lowest, but yeah. So awesome one. Next, Bracers of Defense. So
these are a pretty classic item. They give you the +2 bonus to AC if you are wearing no armor and you are using no shield. So as an alternative to the shield that we were talking about earlier, you can always do the Bracers of Defense. I know that has been a popular item that we've used in the past. So.
Yeah, and good for, of course, mages. A lot of people on your team might want this, but for barbarians specifically, because they have the unarmored defense, like Monk kind of has, you can have these and get that shield AC without even needing a shield, honestly. So,
but I think the shield is more flavorful. Yeah. It gives the same bonus, so I would put this below the shield. What did we put the shield at?
I think we did the shield at some tier. One of the tiers between F and S. I would say D because also
pretty plain.
It is, and maybe you might want to give this to your mages too if you get it. So
I also think the idea of just like with any of these magic items, as long as you're not adding an additional buff to it, I mean you obviously can, right? But I think if you want to add a curse or an effect or something like wacky to any of these magic items that are kind of just like base or mid, it can add a lot to the campaign. It can really make it a fundamentally huge part of the world that you're building.
Yeah,
so
you can make
I encourage people, if you want to give someone the Bracers of the Fence, or you feel like that's an appropriate place for your campaign level, that it would make sense to, you know, add a little flavor in there somewhere.
Yeah,
or ask your players what they think. So.
Yeah, something simple as something like Bracers of Flaming Defense, right? Maybe all your furs like magically catch on fire while you're wielding it, and if somebody, you know, hits you, it take 1d4 fire damage. I don't know, I'm just completely making this up.
It doesn't have to be like you're buffing it a lot, but I think, again, even if you just add flavor, I think it's going to make it a lot better.
Rock on. Great advice for players and DMs. Next one, Crystal Blade. Okay, here we go. So this is a blade that's fashioned for crystals when you attack, from a crystal dragon, actually. Yeah, which is I think exceptionally flavorful. You do an extra 1d8 radiant damage, and the sword also has some charges. What do you do with these charges? When you do, you can use those charges to to regain hit points. Kind of like what we saw previously with that Blood Fury tattoo. So anything I think for a barbarian that helps them sustain and stay on the battlefield longer
does
is
more
great.
damage
And heals. Yeah.
And it does, the target can take an extra 1d8 radiant damage, and most of you know this, but if you don't, radiant damage is the least resisted type of damage in D&D 5th edition.
Yeah, so this is a fantastic, I think, magic item to have this at the very minimum, extra damage and
Force and radiant.
Yeah, those are both good. And healing for a barbarian, fantastic. It's much better than the other ones we've seen. I'd still, for a weapon, this is probably A, I'd say.
I would say A.
Yeah, for sure.
Say it's a good A.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
And of course, only on sword. So if you're like an axe-wielding barbarian, maybe your DM will let you kind of make it slide.
We've done that before.
Yeah, so talk to your DM, but otherwise still fantastic. Next, dancing sword. All right. So this sword is very unique. You can use a bonus action.
It makes you do a cool little dodge.
That's right. So the sword uses your attack rolls, ability scores for its damage rolls, so you can use strength, of course. It hovers. You can use a bonus action, and it can attack a creature with your bonus action. So it's a sword that has an extra attack for you as a player, as a barbarian. When maybe sometimes as a barbarian, other than your rage, you might not be using your bonus actions. This is a good way to capitalize on your bonus action.
I was exactly going to say that. I would give this a B+, probably because barbarians do not have a lot of uses, unless you're multiclassing, which we also recommend. But barbarians do not have a lot of uses once they do their initial rage for their bonus action. So it's a strong possibility. So if you already have a way to use bonus action, like you're dual wielding or have some particular barbarian subclass abilities, it wouldn't be so strong. I think this is definitely not as good as Crystal Blade, but I'd probably put this at maybe a B tier. Early on. I said like low, like A- B+. Okay, all right, somewhere that's good with me. Somewhere around there. Okay, now we go to a little bit of a more mundane item here, Gauntlets of Ogre Power. It's kind of mundane, but it's still, I think, exceptionally potent for Barbarian, because if you think about it, sometimes when you're starting at level 1, and you can get this, it's uncommon pretty early on. A lot of even like the base campaigns, like even like the opening campaign, the most recommended one, the Fandelver has this as an item. So, I mean, right away, getting +4 to hit and +4 to damage for Barbarian is pretty fantastic. So I'd put this, just as an item that you can easily get. It does the same thing though as the other one. Yeah, so it is kind of maxed out. But it's uncommon versus the other one was, what was the tier of the other one? I'm not sure. Okay. But in this case, I'd give this a B. I'd give this a solid B because it's good at any tier. And even if you don't have good use of it as a barbarian, you can give it to one of your teammates. That's true. That's true. Yeah, you can grow out of it. That's a good point. B? I'll give it a C+. Okay. All right. Hammer of Thunderbolts. This is another strong one, a legendary one. It's only a +1 weapon for a legendary, which is interesting, so it's a Giant's Bane. So when you're wielding this, along with the Belt of Giant Strength, which you talked about, and the Gauntlets of Ogre Power, you need all of them, right? Because you got to be extra buffed to use this thing, right? It ends if you do this. Your strength score increases by 4, and can exceed 20. So if you're looking at, but not 30. So you can probably have this. You can get a good belt. I forgot that these stacked. So you can have up to like 30 strength with this. Okay, I give Gauntlets of Ogre Power and the other one closer to a B. I agree. Sorry. I apologize. No, you're good. It's just, you have to look, I think sometimes in context, when are you going to get this? It might be kind of rare though, right? Yeah. So, but if you want to make this happen, you can talk to your DM. That's true. Cool, they can make it happen. Yeah.
So when you roll an attack roll, it's good against giants. You can outright kill them with a con save. Also has 5 charges to do. You can throw it like Thor, right? And it stuns and just does a ton of damage. So I mean, this is again another premier item.
Yeah, this is
S tier for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Great weapon.
The only thing I would put it below the other one in S tier, if we were ranking within S tier, is because it has other requirements.
Interesting.
Because it has prerequisite.
Good point.
I would put it just a little lower.
I would probably just put an A at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good point. Next, Javelin of Lightning. So this is a javelin that you can throw and do an extra 46 lightning damage, like pierce through multiple enemies with this.
So good.
What's good is that it's a thrown weapon, so you can use your strength as a barbarian, right?
Yes.
And barbarian usually doesn't have that many kind of like area of effect attacks, and nor range attacks. This is a good way to get both. Yeah. What do you think about it?
Oh, I think it's really fun. I mean, especially there's no reason that this couldn't be a secondary weapon. I mean, barbarians could have a spear on their back and a sword in their hand. I mean, there's no reason that you couldn't swap this out with your item interaction, toss it, do your area effect, go back and grab it after the battle or in the middle of the battle.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think we've seen that in movies all the time.
That is really cool.
Throws the spear and then they keep fighting, then they grab the spear out of the body and
oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Great flavor too then, on top of the lightning damage. So yeah, I mean in that case as a range, just looking at kind of an isolation as a range
for barbarians.
Yeah, range for barbarians.
I put this up A+.
I agree.
S.
Yeah, A+. Yeah. Great. Oh yeah, it's a range option for barbarians. Not that many. Yeah, good call. Because they have to be thrown to use the strength. So correct. Yeah. All right, Lifewell tattoo. Another tattoo here. These aren't, this one is not particularly special, but what it does let you do is, you know about this pretty well, right?
Yes.
When you get hit down to 0 hit points, you're back down to 1.
I mean, for a barbarian to be able to keep going like that, I mean,
it's fantastic.
It's fantastic. In fact, it's so good.
This is a subclass. I think Juggernaut. I think Zealot Barbarian gets it.
Yes,
like level
Zealot
4.
Barbarian gets it.
Yeah, something like that. Or Death Ward. Either way, just having this built-in, also resistance to necrotic is kind of like a side benefit. It's good. I think it's
really good.
I give it B+.
If you're the Barbarian, I mean, let's be honest. I feel like prioritizing Barbarian healing is usually a smart combat move. So I mean, if you go down, you get back up, someone doesn't have to actually raise you, they can just throw you a healing potion, or you can, it's huge.
I get knocked down,
but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down.
This is great. I think I'd have this as a B+ probably.
I would agree.
Lifewell tattoo. Okay, almost here. We have one more and then a extra bonus item, for number 16. So, okay, Ring of Evasion. Here we go. Ring has 3 charges. You can get them back at dawn. And what does this do? It lets you, if you fail a dex save, what happens?
If you fail a dex save, while wearing it, you can use a reaction to expend 1 of its charges to succeed on that saving throw instead. That's
fantastic. And Barbarian already gets kind of uncanny dodge where they can't succeed, but they kind of get a better way to save. I think it's advantage off the top of my head. But this lets you almost like a legendary resistance in this case.
It's pretty solid.
And you want to
3 charges.
That's pretty good. So reaction, man, that's pretty darn good, I'd say. And this is things you don't want to get caught up in as a barbarian, or things you can't resist as well, which are usually sometimes magical effects.
Yeah, so, this is definitely A for me. I don't know if I put it in S tier.
No, I'd probably give it A-, B+, maybe.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. And now here comes the extra one. Number 16 on our list is Ring of Free Action. All right.
Oof.
So while you're wearing this ring, difficult terrain doesn't cost you extra movement, right? And you already move fast as Barbarian, right? So you can get in there and do what you got to do. In addition, magic can't reduce your speed nor cause you to be paralyzed or restrained. So Barbarians can be can be pretty afflicted by these kind of effects, and you want them to be fighting and in fighting shape and getting in the front line as much as they can. So this, I think, is very good. I wouldn't say it's exceptionally potent, but it's going to make a Barbarian very durable. Yeah, I give it a good B. For a rare item, it's very good.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely great.
So this has been our 16 magical items for Barbarian.
Magical items.
Let us know what you would rank them, and if you want to see magic items lists for some other classes, let us know.
This is going to be part 1 of a 3-part little
Barbarian miniseries.
Barbarian miniseries, and if you like it a lot, we'll do it with the other classes.
Yes, we will.
We'll even dress up sillier than this if we can make it happen.
Yeah, we'll dress up in whatever we have in the Green and Garb closet. So, all right, thank you for watching. Don't forget to rage smite that like button. Subscribe, leave a comment for us, and
see you next time.
See you next time.